Recreating the debtors control ledger is actually a task that helps us budget. So for example, maybe we have the following figures. So at the start of this year, we think that we actually did have debtors of $3,000. And then we start to do some budgeting. So in January, we think credit sales will be $20,000 plus GST. We think we'll give discounts of $500, which includes GST. We think there'll be bad debts of $300, including GST. And sales returns will be $200 including GST, and we think at the end of the month, which is the end of our budget, our debtors will be $6,000. So there's one figure we haven't got here that we might want to figure out is, well, how much do I expect to collect from my debtors for the month? And we can actually do that by recreating the debtors control ledger. So to do that, all we've got to do is take each of these numbers one by one and put them in the debtors control ledger. So we know that at the start of the month, the actual balance of debtors is $3,000. So that would be a debit like so. We are budgeting for credit sales of $20,000 plus GST. So credit sales and GST would make debtors control go up. So that would go in as a debit like so. Our guess is that discounts given to debtors will be $500, and that includes GST. So that'll make debtors go down, so that'll be a credit. We've also budgeted for bad debts to be $300, including GST, so that'll make debtors go down, so that'll be a credit. Sales returns are going to be $200. Based on our estimate, we think there'll be sales returns of $200, including GST, so that'll be a credit. And lastly, this one's a little bit trickier. We think that the amount owing by debtors at the end of the month will be $6,000. Well, what would that look like in the ledger? And when we think about it, that would be the figure that we would put at the end of the month as our balance, and then we'd actually carry it forward down into the next month. And now that we've actually put all that info in, we can now answer the question, what is the estimated collections from debtors? And the way we can do that is by saying, well, this number here must be X. If I was to balance this ledger, I know that the balance going forward is 6,000, and I can work backwards from there, figure out what that bank number is. That would be how much I collect or I'm expecting to collect from my debtors. So the way we can solve for X, and it doesn't matter which number it is we just total either side. Now we can't obviously total this side, the credit side, because there's an X in it. So that makes no sense. But what we do know is that this side, one of them must have been totaled and put here and here. And to do that, that would have given us a balance. We would have been able to figure out that and carried it down. Well, what we can do then is say, well, obviously the debit side in this case must have been bigger. And if we add up these two numbers, we'll get 25,000. And now I've got that, I can actually solve for X. What I can do is say, well, that number there less the balance going forward, the sales returns, the bad debts, the discount expense, that must actually be the bank number. And we can now say we're expecting to collect from debtors $18,000 during the month of July. The whole point of budgeting is that you can remember everything that could go in debtors as either a debit or a credit. And if you can do that, all we'll do is change one of the numbers to be X, and you just have to solve for it. So if you can remember all the debits, so that would be any credit sales made to debtors and GST that we charged them. And then remember any of the credits, so that would be receipts from debtors, maybe discount expenses, we could have bad debts and sales returns. If you can remember all of those figures, well, only one of them is going to be X. Some mightn't even be in the question, but if there's one missing that's X, we just follow this procedure and we can solve for it, and that'll help us do our budget for that period.